Novak Djokovic is the man, and he might go down as the greatest tennis player of all time. I know that pantheon is pretty well stacked, right? And but he's getting there because he just won over the past weekend his 21st major. I'm pretty sure that ties him or it gets him over the hump when it comes to just majors, okay? Major victories, and especially with a full slate ahead of him because what's the next one? The US Open, which you might not go to because this guy, again, on top of being, if not right now, well, I'm pretty sure he is the best active tennis player just going right now, okay? Could he be the best of all time? We'll never truly find out, but when it comes to accomplishments, he has that opportunity to definitely get over the statistical hump with the US Open that's coming up in, I think that runs August or September, I think it's August. Anyways, sometime next, but he's not sacrificing his principles for it. And hey, man, we need more people like this out there. There are very few people that are actually going to stand up with an iron spine, especially somebody who is on the precipice of being the undisputed GOAT in their specific vocation, okay? Because he's not backing down, okay? You remember the debacle that happened with the Aussie Open, right? He was there, and then he wasn't, and then he was, and then he just got flued back out. And now with the French Open, I forget how that one played out, okay, but then he just won Wimbledon, so it really doesn't much matter. Get fucked, you clay court enthusiasts. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with the US Open, because that goes down in Flushing Meadows in New York, okay? It's got the big, beautiful stadium, wonderful stadium, in fact. Except, hey man, a Joker saying no. I really do appreciate it for him, and it looks like some other legends are sticking up for him as well, and I think that the tide is finally turned on this stuff, okay? Because you know what's weird? We're still talking about the coof and all this stuff months, years later after the fact. I haven't heard from Fauci in a while. He must be packing his bags and getting the fuck out of here before he has to, own up to any of his crimes against humanity. Anyways, tennis ace Novak Djokovic will not be able to compete in the US Open next month unless COVID-19 mandate is lifted, and he has no plans to get the shot. Exactly. Good fucking man, okay? Because we've seen what's happened recently with, oh boy, there's just so many healthy, 30, 35-year-olds just dropping dead of sudden adult death syndrome. Don't know why that's happening or anything like that. Just healthy individuals, if they aren't getting fucking knocked out like the linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens there, even though that one came out to be fentanyl. So there you go. Pick your poison, right? You can either have sudden adult death syndrome, okay, or you could just, catch a case of fentanyl and then end up like George Floyd in the middle of the street. Not something the current administration really cares all that much about. Both of them, by the way, continue to stand behind these stupid discredited mandates. Or, hey, you could do something about the flood of fentanyl that's coming through the southern border, but hey, what crisis is that? Southern border? No, what? No, nothing happened? Oh, okay, cool. The 35-year-old made the comment after beating Australia's Nick Kyrgios, marking his 7th Wimbledon title and 21st Grand Slam title. That's a fucking lot. Jesus. Djokovic explained he is still not vaccinated and has no plans on getting the jab, which is necessary according to the Biden administration policy to enter the United States and participate in the final Grand Slam of the season. Yeah, see how long that'll go. Serbia native added that he believes it is unlikely he would be granted any exception to the vaccine mandate, allowing him to compete in the United States Open, which begins on August 29th. Okay, so I was kind of right by waffling at the beginning. It's either August or September. It's gonna be both. Anyways, as there is no such option available. Fucking why at this point? Why? Okay? Because you take a look, it's like who's getting sick, who's dropping dead, who's being hospitalized. Oh, yeah, just don't factor in vaccination status or anything like that, or people who are at least self-reporting their symptoms after contracting it. Okay, and the people who are in the jab category reporting that they're having like the higher symptoms or anything like that, as opposed to people who don't get anything like that. Nope, it's just safe and effective, right? Talk to your doctor. Non-U.S. citizens who are unvaccinated against the coof are currently not permitted to enter the United States. That's fucking retarded. I'm not vaccinated, and I'm not planning to get vaccinated. So the only good news I can have is that they're removing the mandate or the mandated green vaccine card, or whatever you call it, to enter the United States, or exemption. Djokovic told reporters, "I don't know. I don't think an exemption is a realistic possibility. If that is a possibility, I don't know what exemption would be about." And then, yeah, just a little bit of roundabout about what happened in Australia. I don't know if they go into the French stuff or anything like that. Doesn't look like it, but yeah, the Australia gimmick, which would be pretty analogous to what could potentially happen with the United States, right? Because when he was trying to go compete in the Aussie Open at the beginning of this year, I'm pretty sure that's what it was, got an exemption. And then once he landed, okay, you don't have an exemption. And then it's like, okay, we'll go before the courts. And it's like, no, you can stay. No, actually, you got to go. And because the government is stepping in on this one. So it could be something like that with the U.S. Open. Biden could be, okay, Novak, you remind me of an Agassi fellow with the nice flowing hair. Seemed like a nice guy. Why don't you come on over? You can compete in the tennis thing. And does that involve the horses? I don't remember. Come on over. And then it just turns out that Biden forgot to file the paperwork. And he's like, who? No, I'm letting Nadal come in. It's not the first time Djokovic has been unable to play in an important competition due to his unvaccinated status. The tennis pro was deported from Australia last year. Okay, that was at the end of last year. All the dates are running together. Before the first Grand Slam tournament of the year, after having his visa cancelled by Australian Immigration Minister Alex Hawke. Get fucked. Djokovic and his lawyers had contended that he should have been allowed to stay in Australia and compete under a medical exemption from the vaccination because he had tested positive for the virus a month prior in December. He had also been told previously that the Australian government recognized natural immunity from prior infections. No, that's not a thing. Oh, wait, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Although this policy was subsequently changed on the fly between the time he applied and got his medical exemption and the time that he landed. So therefore, the science changes. Okay, cool. But yeah, continue to push your propaganda when it comes to double masking. Get fucked. Djokovic subsequently lost his court battle to have his cancellation of his visa overturned and was forced to leave. Djokovic told reporters on Sunday that he doesn't know what the future holds with him regarding and competing in the U.S. Open next month, adding that it hopes entry restrictions to the countries will be eased. And then, yes, went over all of that stuff as well. Djokovic previously told BBC that he's not against vaccination, but supports the freedom to choose what you put in your body. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the current malfunctioning programming in the NPCs right now. Okay, it's my body, my choice when it comes to Roe v. Wade. And then it's get your vaccine because you're killing everybody else out here. Okay, so it's my body, my choice when it comes to birthing people. But what if they don't want to get the vaccine and then you just see smoke come out of their ears and I don't know, they just get the frowny eyebrows. Nothing else changes about them because they're all just fucking dolts. But somebody who's always good for a soundbite was out there sticking up for Djokovic. That's John McEnroe, one of the other greats in the sport and a man who is never shy about expressing his thoughts and opinions. He has some very base takes when it comes to female athletes, okay, and some opinions that at least at one time Serena Williams agreed with, but now, I don't know, when she's not busy spurging out on the court, who really knows where she stands on all this stuff, but he's saying, yeah, ridiculous. John McEnroe blasted politicians for denying unvaccinated Novak Djokovic entry into the United States. Always outspoken tennis great John McEnroe is blasting autocratic politicians for denying tennis star Novak Djokovic's bid to enter the U.S. because he is unvaccinated. Djokovic recently returned to the top spot in tennis, but then I also seen something in the past couple of days where he fell from the top spot after winning Wimbledon. Like, what the fuck? That don't make any goddamn sense. But again, all of these rankings are just fucking subjective garbage. Anyways, after winning his 7th Wimbledon title on Sunday. Despite his high standing in the sport and, when it comes to the world and how they view athletics, okay, tennis is actually pretty high up there. So he's one of the most famous athletes in the world. So yeah, you got to factor that in as well. And he's got a very base take, which is unlike everybody else in the sport. So of course you could castigate him if he wasn't the most successful tennis player currently out there right now. Okay, I'm just saying, man, it's kind of hard to ignore, the great that's in the room, okay? And then if you're going to be trying to say that, oh yes, the US Open is the perfect representation of the top athletes in the sport, except for the fact that the reigning Wimbledon champion, okay, just isn't here. Why? Is he injured? No, he's not injured or anything like that. Oh, is he just sitting out this year? No, not quite. He wants to compete and everything like that. Well, why isn't he here? Oh, well, you know, you need to stay current and up to date. McEnroe finds this whole situation idiotic. These politicians are getting away with way too much. That is a statement that was true today, yesterday, the day before, 2 months ago, 10 years ago. Anyways, McEnroe said, according to the New York Post, they did it in Australia. Let's let the guy come in and play in the U.S. I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. Whatever you think the government should or should not do, it's a bummer for tennis, he added. Oh my God. Cool it with the harsh talk. Ahead of his win at Wimbledon, Djokovic noted that at this point he feels it is all out of his hands. Yeah, no, exactly. It's also out of his arm too, because he's not getting the fucking jab. I would love to go to the States, but as of today, that's not possible. The top player said last month, sorry, that there is not much I can do anymore. I mean, it's really up to the US government to make the decision whether or not they allow unvaccinated people to go into their country. Of course, Djokovic stirred up major controversy earlier this year. So now it's earlier this year? Come on now. Yeah, okay, so it was January 5th. I'm not completely losing my mind. Yeah, man, big ups to Novak Djokovic for having a fucking spine and not cratering, right? There are a ton of weak athletes in the world right now. Do we need to even say LaChina's name? Or is that does it just go without saying at this point? The UFC is pretty much stacked to the rafters with guys who will speak their mind, but outside of that small corner of the sporting world, okay, everybody else just basically falls in line, and he is, without a doubt, Novak Djokovic, okay? Not just a great in tennis, just a great fucking human being, because you can bend, you can break, but if you compromise your morals, you compromise your principles, there's really nothing left of you as a man. Theoretically, it would be what's best for business for the US Open to allow Djokovic to come in to really just help facilitate. All right, come on, New York, let's just fucking get with this, okay? It was fine and dandy there for a moment that you guys wanted your power grab and you got away with it and all that stuff, but come on now, it's fucking COVID-19, for Christ's sakes. It's 2022. Can we fucking move this shit along at this point? That's great. Okay, thanks. If it helps that move that along, that's terrific. But again, the US Open, from a financial standpoint, doesn't really need it. So this could really go either way. I'm not entirely sure how this all shakes out, but I'll be paying attention to it because, hey man, there's very few heartwarming sports stories that are going around right now. But when there is one, yeah, gotta champion it. At least that's my opinion on it. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.